Story 11. Irina Sendler, the woman who smuggled 2,500 children from hell. Irina Sendler was a 29-year-old Polish social worker when the Nazis began liquidating the Warsaw Ghetto. Using her position in the city's welfare department, she smuggled Jewish children out in boxes, sacks, and even coffins. She forged documents, bribed guards, and worked with a network of Polish families who hid the children. She kept a detailed list of every child's real name and new identity, written on thin paper and sealed in jars that she buried under an apple tree in a friend's garden. When the Gestapo finally caught her in 1943, they broke both her legs and arms during brutal torture sessions. She never revealed a single name. After the war, she dug up the jars and helped reunite hundreds of children with surviving relatives. Most of the 2,500 children she saved survived the war.
Story 12. Operation Gunnercide, the skiers who stopped Hitler's bomb. In February 1943, 9 Norwegian commandos parachuted onto a frozen plateau in Norway. Their mission: destroy the Nazi heavy water plant at Vemork, the key facility in Hitler's atomic bomb program. After weeks of brutal skiing through blizzards and sub-zero temperatures, they infiltrated the heavily guarded plant, placed explosives on the critical electrolysis chambers, and escaped into the wilderness. The explosion set the German nuclear program back by at least a year. When the Germans tried to ship the remaining heavy water to Germany, Norwegian resistance sank the ferry carrying it. The operation is still considered one of the most successful and daring sabotage missions of the entire war.
Story 13. Operation Anthropoid, the assassination that shook the Reich. In May 1942, 2 Czech soldiers trained by British intelligence parachuted into occupied Prague with orders to kill Reinhard Heydrich, Hitler's most ruthless SS leader and one of the main architects of the final solution. Josef Gabčík and Jan Kubiš ambushed his car. Gabčík's gun jammed, but Kubiš threw a grenade that mortally wounded Heydrich. The Nazis responded with horrific reprisals, executing thousands and completely destroying the village of Lidice. Both assassins were eventually cornered in a Prague church and killed in a final shootout. Their act proved that even the most powerful and protected Nazi could be reached, and it remains one of the boldest resistance operations of the war.
Story 14. The Bielski brothers, the Jewish family that built an army in the forest. When the Nazis began slaughtering Jews in Eastern Europe, 3 brothers, Tuvia, Asael, and Zeus Bielski, refused to hide alone. They created a hidden community deep in the forests of Belarus. They not only fought German forces, but took in any Jew who could reach them: the elderly, the sick, women, and children. At its peak, the Bielski camp sheltered over 1,200 people. They built workshops, schools, and even a small hospital. While other partisan groups turned Jews away, the Bielskis accepted everyone. By the end of the war, they had saved more Jewish lives than almost any other single group in occupied Europe. Story 15. Les Chambons-sur-Lignon, the French village that said no. In the small Protestant village of Les Chambons-sur-Lignon in the mountains of France, the entire community made a collective decision. They would protect Jewish refugees no matter the cost. Led by Pastor André Trocmé and his wife Magda, the villagers hid around 5,000 people over 5 years, many of them children. When Vichy police and later Gestapo officers came looking, the villagers simply said they didn't know where the Jews were, even while hiding them in their own homes. Not a single person they sheltered was ever betrayed. The village's quiet, stubborn courage remains one of the most remarkable examples of collective moral resistance in history.